everyone, and welcome back to the Geekvolution Omnibus. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
Welcome to Volume 11. We've got a big show for you tonight, because Eric and I have not done a show in 3 weeks. We were not able to do one last week because I had to go to a Weird Al show, which I will be talking about.
That's going to be part of this show.
It will be. Isn't that great? And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on the guitar pick, so look forward to that. We're also going to talk about Hamilton in the guitar pick. Last thing on Earth. Yeah, a lot of people probably would have expected us to talk about, but we're gonna...
We were paid to do it.
We were. Somebody with donation asked us to talk about that.
Although it was inevitable for me.
Right, yeah. Well, and I would have ended up listening to it eventually, but I wanted to see the show.
Me too.
And I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to do that.
We'll talk about that when we get to
There will be a movie eventually, and then I'll finally know what it looks like.
I don't understand people listening to musicals before they see them. I just don't. We'll talk about when we get there.
Okay, so I don't get going out and doing that on purpose. I had no trouble with it with this particular musical, but I wouldn't. But I mean, I didn't. I wouldn't have done that.
But you had reservations before you listened. You're like, am I going to be able to follow this?
Sure.
Like,
yeah. Well, because I didn't realize how much of the story is just in the songs.
It's just all songs.
So it's great.
It's more like an opera.
Anyway, but we'll talk about that later. I've now said everything I have to say about that. But I'm kidding. But we'll talk about it later. So we're going to be doing a lot of requested stuff tonight, and we're not going to do a You Made Me Watch. We're just going to put all the requested material within. We're going to put it in it. We're going to put all the requested material inside of
whatever
all the segments of where they go. We've got requested movies tonight. We have a requested musical tonight. We have a requested comic book series tonight that I'm going to be doing. TV show, all kinds of stuff. So much of the show tonight is requested. Also, Infinity Show, as you might have noticed by the icon this time, the logo this time.
Infinity Request.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely. Well, and that is sort of true because there's obviously stuff that has been requested that we're not getting to tonight. But we usually have a little bit of a backlog because of how much of that we get. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of our patrons and one-time and first-time donators and requesters. We usually have at least 4 or 5 that we are trying to get to. And it's really neat to have that kind of a backlog, and you guys are great. But we're never more than one behind. So I think we've done a pretty good job keeping up with them.
Yeah.
And we've gotten some really good requests, and I feel like my palette is being opened exponentially with just all the things that I'm trying that I never would have thought to look at myself, or things that I always wanted to and I just haven't gotten to. And so it's forcing me to prioritize things, and I love that. So if you are interested in seeing us talk about something that you really like, that you think that we might never get to, or something that even that you don't like, that you just are interested to see what we would think of, or a lot of people just like watching me squirm, Eric. There's a lot of that.
That's my favorite thing.
We're going to have some of that tonight. We're going to have a couple of those tonight, actually. You can go to patreon.com/geekvolution and donate at the $20 tier if you would like to do that regularly, or you can do that one time and just pull your pledge off or drop down to a lower tier after I have done your request, or after a month is out. We do those monthly for folks that stay on that tier, or so every other omnibus, or you can just do a one-time donation and use the email address that's in the description and send me a message. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about, and I will tell you how to make the donation thing happen. And all we ask is that it is something that is easily obtainable. We will spend a little bit of money if we have to. That's part of what the $20 is for. But if it's obviously the easiest things are things that we can just stream or that are easy to get online. And
if we can get online,
if you want to send us something,
it would be helpful if you told us where it is.
Yes.
Like just up front, be like, this is on Amazon, you can stream it here. This is on Hulu, you can stream it here.
I've had someone let me use their account for something. I mean, people have had a lot of creative ways to make it possible for us to watch things. And I really appreciate people going out of their way, making it easier for us to see things.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys have just been absolutely fantastic. Every single person that has done this has been wonderful, and thank you so much. But like I said, the other way you can do that is send me an email, and we will, like I said, we'll do anything that we can get our hands on, and that is not pornographic in nature. So that's what we do. I want to mention just some other quick kind of house cleaning things and ways to help us out. We like to get this out of the way early on in the show. The biggest news is the omnibus, as you have probably noticed already, is changed. The way we're posting it, so the way we're making it is exactly the same. This is, you won't even know this because we're just making it right now. I've not posted it, obviously, not possible, it's not live. But
the omnibus is changing. You may be experiencing some strange feelings.
We're doing a.
So your body's changing.
You might want to talk to your parents about it. Maybe talk it out with someone close to you that you don't want being intimate with. But anyway, so this is an introduction video. And then the rest of the omnibus is in separate videos on a playlist, and that's how we're going to start making this available. So I hope I don't bore anyone with this, but this is what's going on and why we're doing it. So we have split our views a little bit too much. It didn't seem to be a problem early on, but it's become more of a problem lately. Two big things. One, and a lot of it is just we're losing ad revenue, and I have to work on that and do something about it. So Patreon, the spike in Patreon has helped us out a lot, but I just want to try to maximize, obviously, revenue. This is a job for me. I love it. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a job for me. So I want to try to maximize our revenues without making it not fun for you guys and putting things behind paywalls. So everything we've been adding on Patreon has more or less been just extra things that we've been giving you guys. Like we're doing Morphin Mania now. We've already made the first 3 of those. We're making those available to Patreon early. Everybody in the channel is still going to get them when we said they would get them. But if you want to see those early, you can become a patron at just the $2 tier and you can get those.
And everything we're putting on Patreon, we're thinking of as Patreon things. Like it's extra things. We're like, what can we do for Patreon? It's not like we come up with an idea and like, well, what if that was a Patreon thing? It's always the genesis of it is always Patreon.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So the omnibus will still, of course, be available, just in a slightly different form. So it's going to be. We want to make sure that every. That every bit of the omnibus, in all, some of this is because I'm curious about it. I want to see who's watching, like how many views, how many people are watching certain things, just for my own edification. And I can't tell just looking at the omnibus proper. And then when we post them later, like you don't know how many people looked at that before on the omnibus, and a lot of those just don't get hit real hard, of course, especially because sometimes they get posted too late and they're just not as relevant anymore. That becomes kind of problematic. So what we're going to do now is and this was an idea that came from a couple of people on Facebook. Thanks a bunch for that. I don't have their names in front of me, but the people gave me this idea. This is not my idea. What we're going to do, this came from another YouTube channel. Somebody that watches another channel said, well, they do something similar to what you're doing. Here's what you should do. And I'm like, that's a great idea. What we're going to do, and what we have done, is it's a playlist now. Besides the intro video and probably one other video, on the first day, everything is unlisted, but on the playlist you'll be able to see it because it's on a playlist. And then we will put those, we will make them live, essentially just to put them in subscription boxes over a couple of weeks like we have been, so that we have daily content and people will maybe see things and be gravitate toward them, and that's how you grow your audience too. I don't want to be too inside baseball-y, but that's part of why we're doing that, and so that we don't have 12 videos that all come up on the same day and flood people's subscription boxes. That's why we're doing that. My plan right now, and this could change if it becomes too difficult to do. I don't think it will be. I think this is what I'm going to do. My plan right now is to make an MP3 version available, even though we have some things that are kind of harder to just listen to, like new acquisitions. You'll just have to live with that. But there are people who like to just listen to the show and don't want to have to be able to have keep their phones on or whatever. And you can. I mean, a lot of people will still just do that with the playlist, and that won't be a problem for them. But I'm going to make an MP3 version available on Patreon. That's my plan right now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I don't think that changes too much of what's going on right now. If it becomes really problematic for people, where they really hate the playlist thing, I might start putting that in the podcast feed. But the main reason I don't want to do that is because the podcast is Rewind, and I don't really want to do stuff that's too unrelated to Rewind in the podcast feed. So I had talked about doing that. I never promised it, which is why I'm talking about this now. Again, it's not a paywall thing. I'm trying to be really careful about that. It's not a paywall thing. It's just, I think that it's not going to make sense to put it on the Rewind playlist, and
no, that makes sense to me.
So that's my thinking right now.
And you're not going to pay for a second podcast feed.
No, I can't. I just can't afford it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know that I can totally afford the one I'm doing, but I'm doing it. I mean, I don't know how much it makes sense. You know what I mean? But I'm doing it because people wanted it. So, and that is not a PayPal thing, or PayPal. What am I talking about? That is not a Patreon thing. We just did a whole other live show 2 hours ago.
That was about 2 hours long.
And you'll get to see that later, too, if you've not watched it yet. Obviously, the Infinity War spoiler cast will be in the playlist for the Omnibus. So, folks, give us your feedback. Tell us what you think about this. This is the plan right now for the foreseeable future. This will make it easier for people to skip around, and it will make it way easier for me in editing. And also, it's just better not to have your content on the channel twice. So... that's the plan right now. Let me know what you think about it. This could change, but for the foreseeable future, this is my plan. Any questions? Any comments?
No. Although I do want to say at the top of the top show here, there is no license to review here. These are two shows, no license to review.
I revoked his license. Is really the long short of it.
Not enough time in the day.
Even with 3 weeks, he just couldn't.
It will be. It will be in the next one. Well, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I watched and read a lot of stuff. Some of it won't even factor into the omnibus, and we had a lot of catch up to do with the pre-requested stuff. We watched 3 movies together.
We did. Yeah.
I only have so much time after work and things like that. But I promise Goldfinger will be on the next one.
So next Superhero Rewind is Deadpool. I'm going to try to get it out before Deadpool 2 comes out. It'll be this week at some point. I'm a little bit behind on that. I've not taken notes for the movie yet. I've done all my research, but I haven't taken notes for the movie yet because I've had other things all weekend, including the spoiler cast and seeing Infinity War again and stuff like that. So, but that should be this week. Having a lot of fun with Deadpool. It's going to be a fun thing to write about. And then, what else did I want to mention? The current Patreon goal is the 550 goal. When we hit that, I'm going to do the top 50 performances in superhero movies video. So if you want to see that happen sooner rather than later, become a Patreon. I always do that. Become a patron on patreon.com/Geekvolution. And what else do I want to mention? I think that's most of the house cleaning stuff. Can you think of anything we need to mention? Once again, if you haven't heard about it, Superhero Rewind is in podcast form now. If you'd prefer to listen to it, then watch it. I would really appreciate it if you became a patron in order to help me out with that, because it does cost me to have that up. But if you can't do that, I understand. That is free. You can just go listen to it. It's totally cool. And that is on Podbean. It's on iTunes. It's any place that you can download a podcast. And now,
podcast is gonna be big. Tell your friends.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be huge. And now let's go to trivia. Eric, easy trivia question today. I wanted to mention it because of the color change thing with the Infinity Gems, and because every time I try to do this, I always forget one. I can do 5, but I can't do the 6. Can you rapid fire very quickly name all the Infinity Gems, and can you name the colors from comic book to movies?
No.
You cannot.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
I can name all the gems easy.
Yeah, sure.
The problem is...
I always forget one.
The problem is I've lived with two gem sets in like a 2-week period.
And so you can't remember...
I can remember...
And I'm going to have to look it up because I always remember it either. The time stone is always green, right?
No.
Is it not? Is that one of the ones they changed?
They changed all of them. None of them are the same.
Are you right about that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There isn't a single one that's the same.
2 they switched. Okay.
No, they're all different.
We'll look them up. Okay. See, I can't do this either. That's why I made it a trivia question.
Also, do we have 2 yellows in this? Is it both the Soul Stone and the Mind Stone
or is there
yellow?
like an orange? I forget.
That would be dumb.
And there's a gray one on my Zed gauntlet. You guys check out the shirt. I don't think I've shown this off on camera. It's the Morphinity Gauntlet. Isn't this cool? We did a Power Rangers show last time. We're doing a partial Infinity show this time. This shirt is the culmination of these 2 shows. It's Lord Zed as Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. It's my favorite shirt. I've never had a cooler shirt than this. Look at all the stuff on it. You got the Zordons in there, and it's the best.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
I believe space is green. I believe power is red. Mind is yellow.
Oh, this is nice on Wikipedia.
Do they have both?
They give you both because they do it as they say original color and Marvel Legacy, and the Legacy one is based on the movies. So that that should be this.
Well, I have a rant about that later.
Am I right about that though?
Yes.
It should be the same as the movies because it's the movies.
Yes.
And I know that ticks you off, but I think that's what it is.
No, it is.
Right now, I'm just talking about facts. Okay, I don't care. I don't care about how you feel about it.
I know.
I do care. And if you want to talk about it, we can. This is almost a couch. You know, you could almost do like a therapy thing, and then we should put like a couch in here, and then when you do rants,
no, I have an Infinity rant.
Turn around. No, I know you do. I know what it is too. I can guess anyway. Okay, so this says. I'm sorry. Did you want to keep trying to do that?
Well, space is green. Is space green?
Space.
Yes. No.
Is not green.
Okay.
You're talking about in comics.
Yeah. Is Mind green?
I don't think there is a green one.
There is a green one.
Well, that's what I thought, but it doesn't say that here. Oh, yes, it's the Soul Stone. The Soul Stone is green.
Oh, of course it is.
Which makes sense, yeah.
Because they're all green in Thanos Quest.
That's the first one.
Yes. Okay, so the Soul Stone's
green. They change
green.
them in Gauntlet.
Yes, yes, the Soul Stone's green.
Yes.
What's weird is they don't change it. In the first panel of Thanos Quest, they're colorful, and then for the rest of the book, they're green. It's weird. Anyways, we'll talk about it.
Is the idea that they don't change colors until they get in the Gauntlet? Because that's cool.
I don't think so. I think it's a coloring thing, but I might be wrong.
Okay. If you don't know, they were called the Soul Gems for the longest time, and then Thanos changes it to like we do it in the story in continuity.
Thanos starts calling it the Infinity Gems, then so does everyone else.
Just because it's confusing.
So the Soul Gem is green. Then I think the Space Stone is purple. Then.
You are right about that.
Space is purple.
Yep.
Red is power.
Yes. That's what I thought that one was.
Blue is time.
Yeah, in the movies, time is green.
Yes, but blue is time in the comics?
Yes. No, mind.
Blue is mind.
Yep. Time is orange.
Time is orange. And then the last one is...
Soul time. So did you say space? You said space. That's
I said
purple.
space.
Mind is blue. Reality is yellow.
Reality is yellow, of course.
Yeah, and that one I remembered.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's easier for me to do the movie ones just because we keep seeing them. Because I remember that was time.
I could have done the comic ones 2 weeks ago, right after I finished Infinity and Thanos Quest. Yeah, but I've seen Infinity War twice now.
Okay. Well, and is it also just because being at work you keep seeing the Infinity the countdown book? Because we were talking about that. You sent me the picture from that. That's part of your rant, right?
Yeah. I opened up and I looked at the Infinity Stones and I was like, well, that's wrong. Because it is the movie ones, and therefore I know it's wrong.
Yeah, but to be fair, you can't dog on that book unless it was the same author that did it, because this dates at 2017, which means that was changed already when Legacy started.
It probably is the same author, because that's written by Gary Dugan, who took over Guardians at the beginning of Legacy.
Okay, there you go. So that probably is who you have to blame for that. Unless it was mandated. He might have been told to do that.
I highly doubt that the writer decided to change it, but maybe
I wouldn't think that either. So Power is... Unless it's one of those things where he didn't care about Infinity until he saw the movies, and then he wanted to do that. That's possible.
It's possible.
I don't know anything about Dugan.
I
don't know what his background is.
He wrote Deadpool. He's been writing Deadpool for like 5 years now. That's what I know about him. Since Marvel Now.
Well, I think he does a good job. I mean, people seem to like that book.
I read the first 12 issues. It's not bad.
Power in the movies is purple. That I did not immediately remember, but now I'm thinking back.
Reality is red.
Yes, of course it is. Reality is red.
Space is blue.
Yeah, we know. And Mind is yellow.
Mind is yellow.
Because that's the head.
Which makes Soul orange.
Vision. Soul. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Soul is
and
orange.
I knew that because remember we were talking earlier in the spoiler cast, which is later for you guys. Time is wonky. We have a time stone.
You think about time as a simple sequence of cause and effect, but really it's more like a ball of wibbly wobbly.
It's I remembered that because when the Russos are talking about spoiler alert, Gamora being inside the Soul Gem, they talk about how they intentionally made the area around the young Gamora orange because they're in the orange gem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But every time I try to rattle them off, I always forget one. I'll be like reality, time, soul, space, power, and then I can never remember the last one. I always do that. Mind. There you go. Every time I do it, it's always a different one too. I can do 5, and then I can't come up with the 6th one.
Yep.
Well, good job. You remember more of the comic colors than I did, so well done. Okay, that's trivia for today. Today's fan art, and forgive me, I got to do this on my phone again, Eric. Today's fan art comes from Andrew Brown, and he drew Dr. Fate.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Oh, I love the lighting effect on his hand.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too.
That's really cool.
It's a really nice pencil drawing.
You know what else it is? We spent a lot of time
to see him color it.
We spent a lot of time in the movies with them individually.
Right.
In the comics, it's always the Gauntlet.
So it's a lot harder to remember the comics.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then it's weird in the movies because they weren't stones until they were. I mean, maybe they always were, but except for the cube, there's no way they originally thought the cube.
I also don't think that the mind one was intended to be the mind one.
You don't think so? Just what's on the end of his scepter.
Yeah, I don't think that was intentional.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think you're. Well, I don't know though because Thanos at the end, like, That's the thing that always made me question that. Is that could have been in the back of Whedon's mind because Thanos is...
Everything that I've seen from the Marvel films makes me believe they're kind of riffing. Where they're kind of like, yeah, we know we want to do Thanos, we'll deal with that when we get... Like, I don't think they were thinking about that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. But the idea that he's supposed to be the mastermind during all that, it's weird if you have... And these things are running together for me right now because there's so many of them and we keep talking about it all together, but isn't the... Does the Tesseract stay a Tesseract throughout that movie?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes sense because Thanos' original objective is the Cosmic Cube.
Right.
Way back in the day.
Sure. So they probably were not... And again, it still doesn't make sense that Thanos would give him the stone and then say, go have at it.
That's the big reason I don't think they know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
just to get the
Was it the only fan art? I didn't mean to step on fan art.
That was
just,
the... Nope, that was... And that is today's fan art. Now...
Good job.
Well done.
Also, Dr. Fate's just a real cool pick. Just... No reason, no, just real cool picture of Dr. Fate.
Everywhere lately, though. Have you noticed that?
We'll talk about him later.
We will, yeah. He keeps... Well, naturally, and I talked about him last show because he was in that Lego Flash movie. He just keeps popping up and stuff.
Is Suicide Squad hell to pay... Is their Dr. Fate better than the one in Flash?
Apples and oranges. I'm going to say no. For my own personal sensibilities, no. Because as soon as you give Dr. Fate, like, this 70s soul, deep black man voice, where he sounds like Barry White or something, no. Like, you don't get better than that. That's the best. I still have to show you that. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I wish you watched it with me so you could have been blindsided by it, because you know about it now. I know the sound of the laugh you will be making when that happens, because it's just the best. Folks, move along with us, will ya? Move along home.
I was going to make that joke.
Sorry. Move along with us to the next video in the sequence, will ya, as we go on right now to new acquisitions.